going into last season, I remember looking through team schedules and thinking back to the year before when Tennessee didn't have that great of a defense. I was looking at like the Colts schedule and some other teams' schedules, like Houston's schedule, because I had some of these guys on my fantasy team. So I was looking at the schedules, and I was chalking up those games against Tennessee as good matchups. You know what I mean? But that changed, right? Because last season, Tennessee was one of the stingiest defense in the league almost. So that changed. But you know what didn't? The Lions defense, the Niners defense. I don't know, Green Bay's defense, New England's defense, right? All those were still good, but the only ones that you hear about are the ones that changed because Dallas's defense was good, the Giants' defense was good. The teams that have traditionally good defenses are still good, but every now and then, but you only hear about the ones that change. Baltimore's defense struggled last year, so we heard about that much more than we heard about the fact that New England's defense was consistently good from year to year. We heard more about Baltimore being bad. The Bears' defense struggled last year. We heard more about that. Anytime there's a big change, that's what we hear about. So when you say that, everything changes from season to season, you point out the 2 or 3 teams that actually had, went through a major change, but you don't look at the other 20 teams that pretty much lived up to their reputations. So you can plan ahead according to the schedule, and just know that maybe 1 or 2 teams that you have pegged to be bad or good might change, but for the most part, it'll be right. Doesn't change that much. So looking at the schedule, you can pretty much get a good idea of who's going to do what. Somebody's playing the Raiders, they're going to score. Somebody's playing the Niners, they're probably going to score. They'll get tackled by Patrick Willis at least 20 times in a game, but they'll score somehow. Niners on paper have a good D, so it's tough to figure out, but on paper is one thing. On the field, they have a bad defense, so people will score. They just will. Colts are going to score a lot of points. That's not going to change. New England's going to score a lot of points. Not going to change. Now, I talked a little bit about Chad Johnson earlier. I brought it up. I merely hinted around at Chad Johnson and some stuff that he said. But I'm actually going to read some, some quote. I'm gonna go over the actual story. Now, this was today. This just came out. Like, literally 10 minutes before I went on the air, this came out. Apparently, Carson Palmer made a comment. I'm not sure to who, but he made a comment where he insinuated that Chad Johnson had told him he would be at the team's mandatory minicamp in mid-June. Johnson has said that's not true. He said, quote, "I want to make this very clear." He didn't say, quote, I threw that in. He said, quote, "I don't know where he got that. I made no assertion to Carson that I would do that. Nothing has changed from what I've been saying for 3 months that I don't want to play for the Bengals." Well, actually, he hasn't really been saying that. He's been hinting around. But he hasn't really just been saying that. He hasn't just been, I don't want to be here. He's been saying, I can't really say, that I don't want to be here, but I can say I want to play for a team that, has a shot to win, and that's all I can say. He's been saying that kind of stuff, which pretty much means I don't want to be here because this team can't win. But now he's just saying, I want to make this very clear, I don't want to play for the Bengals. He said, I want to be traded before the draft, and if that doesn't happen, I want to be traded as soon as possible. I don't intend on reporting to anything. Bengals have had no comment as of yet, but this is hot off the presses. This just in. He said. He also said, "Quote the very last little part of this story." He said, Wednesday, the Pro Bowl wide receiver said he was surprised by Palmer's comments about his possibly reporting a mandatory camp. Quote, "I wish he would stay out of my business," Johnson said. So he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be even welcome back in there. It doesn't sound like. The Bengals are saying they don't want to trade him. They're not going to trade him. No intentions of trade. Why would you want? Why would you even want a guy like that on your team?